Hi, it's Lisa, and I had a couple minutes, so I thought I'd just give a quick review of this new to me backpack. And it's actually a British Army surplus. Let me look at the info here. A 45-liter field pack or daysack, and I'll put the specs up on the YouTube description. But I got it earlier this year because I needed to replace my old field pack, and I was looking into this Molly or PALS attachment stuff. I guess it's become standard for NATO countries now to have this kind of setup instead of the old rucksack with all the really big pockets on it. And so I just got one of these to try it out. And a guy in the UK gave me a special deal on this surplus pack. It's used, although it looks pretty new. So it probably wasn't outside very much. And it's got this camouflage pattern that's a bit more subdued than a lot of the ones I've seen. So it's probably, on the color scheme, it's probably made for the Iraq or Afghanistan wars, because it's kind of that tan deserty color. Anyway, so just to quickly go over it here, it's a convenient size for carrying around laptops, school books, and that kind of thing. And it hasn't got this elaborate frame structure. It's got this, what appears to be this piece of stiff foam inside it. So it's got a bit of padding here. There's no belt on the pack, which can be a bit of an issue if you're carrying a lot of groceries. But you can kind of rig on one, and I've done that. I'll probably do another piece that shows the optional belt I made with carabiners and just a snap buckle on it that seems to work. And the nice thing about that is you can take it off when you aren't using it. Apparently the reason they didn't have one in the first place was to accommodate body armor. Who knew? Anyway, so the straps have these little Molly tabs on them, which are kind of handy if you want to attach things like this tiny pouch, which I got recently because I needed to put my bus pass and things in it and keep it accessible. And it attaches really conveniently here. So that's something you don't really see in a lot of backpacks. I also managed to attach a U.S. Marines assault pouch pack on the bottom. And one of the nice things about this is it's detachable. So if you want to put leftover refuse, like your sandwich wrappers and stuff when you're out hiking, and you can put it in this little pouch after, keep it out of your main stuff, so if there's any stuff, like if you got maybe dirty sneakers or something, it doesn't get mixed in with the rest of your things. And you can just take it off your pack afterwards and wash it, and that makes it really really useful. One of the things about this pack that I was a little surprised by, but apparently it's been standard for at least 20 plus years on British packs, are these zippers. And I didn't know what they were for at first, but then it occurred to me, I realized you can actually use it, you can zip them up, and you can really compress the pack that way. So if you aren't carrying very much, it's very handy on the bus because you can just kind of squash your pack, and it gives a little bit more room for you to maneuver that way. You haven't got this big ungainly backpack all the time. So that's nice. Also, when you expand it out like this, it's got these little Molly or PALS, I guess they call them PALS, webbing grid here, so you can actually put pouches and stuff inside here. Oh, and you can also, I think the main reason, in fact, for having these zippers in the first place, a guy who'd been in the British Army told me, is you can actually zip in. They've got a special big pair of side pouches, or they call them rocket pouches, because they look like you're going to take off with a jetpack when you've got them loaded on. And you can just zip them in here. And so it's pretty flexible. I mean, I just kind of stick my water bottle in here in this pocket, and then I can kind of clip it onto one of these PALS grids here, and it really kind of keeps it steady. And you can also cinch it up. I guess they've really thought this out. You can pass this clip here and strap through this hole here, and you can really cinch it down that way. So they really got this thing elaborately rigged up. There's a PALS grid on the front of the pack like this, and what I've done is I made this makeshift kind of beaver tail, they call it, out of one of those thigh attachments. I guess it's supposed to hold a gun holster or a first aid pack or something. So I just took all the extra straps off and I bungeed it on here. This is a Grimlock carabiner. I don't really need it here. You could just kind of pass it through the PALS strap here, but it's nice to have it there in case you actually need it for something. So I've got this kind of beaver tail thing, and I've kind of installed this little S-clip here so I can cinch it down if I'm not using it. But if I want to stuff a hat or a pair of gloves or a thin windbreaker in here, I can just use this as an extra pocket on the back here. And I can take it off if I'm not using it. It's a nice thing. This is just a attachment board. Again, it's MOLLE compatible with the loop side of Velcro on it, and you can just put a patch on if you want. There's even like little pen pouches and things you can stick on that are Velcroed on the back, or reflector patches. I made one out of Velcro here, but you can always stick a really big reflector patch on something like this here, and you can make the pack really stand out at night. So that's the front of the pack here. The pack itself, it's got this kind of double line here. You got this one kind of cinch cord at the very top, and then there's an internal one as well. So that's nice to have that if you want to try to keep your stuff dry. You can even take the lid off if you want to have a lot of mobility, I guess. But the lid is handy because it's got two pretty decent sized pouches on it, like these pockets for storage here, and they're both zipped so you don't lose stuff. So I've got like my map and some like a spare mask for riding a bus and that kind of thing inside here. And I had my lunch in this pocket, so it's a pretty generous size. This zippered pocket here, and even though you can remove it if you like. So that's the main thing. Funny thing is, after I got this backpack, I've been thinking about, I don't really want one that's got all these little tiny pouches on the front, and then I thought, it would be kind of nice to have a decent sized one to put my laptop or clipboard in. And what they do have inside here are these 3 straps on the inside that have buckles on them. And you can actually, I think they were probably in there to hold some equipment down or something inside. But what I did was I actually made this out of a piece of vinyl. You could use leather or any other kind of convenient fabric that you can find, really. And I didn't cut those straps out. I used them to support. So you can see the snaps here. I just kind of secured this big piece of vinyl inside here. So it's actually a little pocket here that I can slip my laptop in and get at it quickly so it doesn't get mixed up with the other stuff inside the pack. Ditto with a clipboard. And actually the way I did it here, because it's got this these 2 sides here, and I can actually slip another thing in here behind this one. So it's kind of like a multi-level filing system I've got inside, just by adding this very simple piece of, I'll just pull it out here, this cut piece of vinyl that has these snaps on it. And this is what I like because I can take it out if I don't need it. So I've kind of got the benefit of having one of those separate pouches for my laptop, but I don't have to actually have it in there all the time if I don't need it. So I think that's the best thing about this new to me anyway, MOLLE type of carrying system, is if there's stuff that you don't really need, you can always remove it. And it really frees the pack up for other stuff. So for example, I can stick this MOLLE pouch on the outside, just onto the beaver tail here, and so these straps here kind of fit through the webbing grid like that, and do it one-handed. But you can sort of see how it goes like that, and then you just fasten it in with the snaps here. There are other ways of doing it. There's a whole bunch of different third-party options, but they all have these straps that engage with the PALS grid and hold it in securely. So that's the main idea with that. So what I've got here, I guess, is a pack I can customize depending on what I need it for. If I really have to, I can take off the beaver tail. I can add on like a water bottle carrier or other kinds of pouches too. And so I've got a whole bunch of different ways I can fix my pack. If I need to have special attachments on it, I can do that. So it really wasn't bad. Like for 40 or 50 bucks, to get a pack like this. It's in pretty good shape, and so I think I got a pretty good deal on this.